so very much for being part of our day today, and would love to say we're excited to have you join us. This is Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television from the economic capital of Nigeria, Lagos. I am Henry.
And I'm Choma Okohe.
All right, like we often do, we will head straight to our newspaper headlines for this morning, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. While we'll get everything all sorted and produced for you, please do well to be part of our community. Have a say in what we say. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Yes, so we'll be doing this today with...
We have with us in the house Peter Shudende, who is a public affairs analyst and commentator. Good morning, Peter Shudende.
Good morning, Choma.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have you with us.
All right, let's kickstart today, interestingly, with the Nation newspaper. And we have the big story here. Naira rebounds as speculators dump dollars.
Okay, moving on the top strip, you have tension in Kano as DSS police surround Sanusi's palace. And the writer to that particular story, state government blames federal government for incident that is actually ongoing.
All right, we have still on the top strip of the same newspaper, South African president under fire over Nigeria visa deal, and we have some couple of writers here. Ramaphosa accused of trying to sell country. ANC attacks failed attempt to sow chaos.
Okay, moving on the left or the right hand of the Nation newspaper, you have Why I Came Out With My Cancer Story by Charlie Boy. Details of the particular story are on page 27.
And also on the very bottom strip here, we have Yellow Tide, Dangote marketer seal deal to avert the fuel scarcity.
Okay, let's look into the particular story which we're talking about on the page of the front page of the Nation newspaper. We have on defamation, Farotimi will go free if he proves allegations against me. That is coming from Babalola, and we'll have about 2 readers to that particular story. Police land 12 fresh cybercrime charges on activists. One against unlawful gathering in Ekiti. Details are on page 3. Now, Peter Shudende, can Nigerians actually understand that this is more like a civil matter and not a criminal matter? And aside from that, looking at Babalola going this far, a lot of Nigerians will feel he's doing too much. But with his name at stake, will you say he's doing too much?
Yeah, thank you, Chom. For me, I think for whatever it is worth, if you have labored for over 90 years of your life and you just find somebody, whoever he is, comes and tries to rubbish and bring down whatever you had done. You know, defamation is either libel or slander. And it depends on where you're looking at it from. It is the person who is accused that will determine within himself whether I should go for a criminal charge or a civil charge. When you go for a civil charge, the day you die, the case dies with you. But if it is criminal, even after you are dead, the state can still take up the case and continue to run. We know it's 95, and he knows the reason why, and those allegations are very weighty. Somebody who had been at the pinnacle of the law, pinnacle of law of the legal system in Nigeria for over 60, 70 years. And you have a very junior person comes and says, you have been buying justice. You have been doing this, you have been doing that. Even accused the Supreme Court that it has been desecrated because of corruption. So, just like the writer said there, I think the best for Farotimi is it's good to at least challenge people when you know that you're saying the truth. You just come out with the evidences and then you go home. But if you refuse to come out with the evidences, and then there's a problem.
Yes, as much as we believe that Baba would defend himself at 95, he's done so much, just like you did say, he has gotten to the pinnacle of his career. But don't you think that killing mosquitoes with an AK-47 is even doing more damage to the living room? Because the book no one knew about is a bestseller right now in Amazon.
Okay, the book was published in July. I think most people don't even know. And I think there have been discussions around it since then. You call it a sledgehammer and you call it a mosquito. But if you put yourself in that shoe and somebody comes and says, all I've known you to do in your life is to steal, rob, and write it in a book and publish it on the internet and everybody sees. Of course, yes, you might think that it's just saying nonsense. But some people will take it and be like, okay, truly. And another thing is, it is also attacking the Supreme Court of Nigeria. As it is today, the Attorney General of the Federation, after Babalola is done with his own, can also sue Farotimi.
But
the Attorney General of Lagos State can also sue him.
Do you believe that the Supreme Court is immune of corruption of every level? Do you believe so?
No system in this world is immune of corruption.
Yes.
But you see, if you have to allege somebody of something, you must be able to prove it.
Now,
it is not easy for you to wake up and say, my neighbor is an armed robber. Because he doesn't come home at good hour, maybe comes home at 2-3 a.m. and you feel that only armed robbers coming at this time, then you go publish, go report at the police station that is an armed robber. Then the next thing the man takes you to court and be like, come and prove that I'm an armed robber because you have dented my image in my street. It is criminal to him. You might see it as civil, that I'm trying to protect myself, but to him, I don't know where the matter has gone to. The whole area believes I'm an armed robber, and I'm pained.
Mr. Peters, before now, Farotimi believed that he was going to be picked up, and he was picked up.
Yes.
And for him to go to this length, he is a lawyer.
Yes.
For him to go to this length to still publish this book, are we going to say he does not have enough evidence, or he will be able to stand to fight the battle? Because he said the grave is where he prefers than his freedom.
Okay. You see, when you're an activist, you do a lot of things. And the fact that you're a lawyer doesn't mean you can't behave whichever way you like to. They are human beings. Don't see them as just the way Babalola is a lawyer. People believe that he's overdoing. As a lawyer, he should become. So the same way Farotimi is also behaving. You see, this is not the first time you will see them say a lot of it. There's another defamation charge against Deji Adeyanju. He had accused some senators of, the PDP acting national chairman Damagum and the secretary of Benti Boy to Bajabia Melanco. Those ones have started their own. You see, people say a lot of things, whether they can prove it or not. You cannot say because there's freedom of speech, there's freedom of everything, then you just come online or come anywhere. And what makes Farotimi's case worse is when you wrote it in a book. The book gets published and people read it everywhere. All they need is just somebody in Ekiti to say, I saw the book, I read it while I was in Ekiti State. And I think this man is a very, very bad old man. All in his life, he has been a thief. And the man will say,
Okay. So what you read is subjective. What you read and see as criminal, I might read and see as not.
You leave that to the law court.
Okay.
If my lawyer is able to tell the judge that everything I've done in this life has been destroyed, if he appeals to pity and the conscience of the judge, and the judge so feels that truly, this Enterprise TV that this person has said this thing to does not deserve this thing. So if it is civil, the judge will say, okay, pay damages to this person. But if the judge feels this as criminal, same way they are treating it now as a criminal case, you go to jail. It's as simple as that. Okay. So it is not within you. You cannot be the judge in your own cause. You are now trying to look at it as if we look at it very well, maybe it is civil, maybe it is, no, it's not within us. Let the court decide.
All right. Okay, so while we wait for the court to decide.
I want to ask you a question before we move on. At this point, are we going to now say categorically, there's a saying before now that if you want to hide the truth from a black man, you put it in a book.
Yes.
Now, at this point where Farotimi is now facing charges, are we going to say that particular statement is entirely true in Nigeria at this point?
The statement he wrote in the book?
Like, no. Before now, it is...
You believe what he had written is the truth because he had written it in a book. No, it doesn't really matter. A lot of people write a whole lot of nonsense and they tell you... And there are good books too. People have read books, make you rich. At the end of the day, they don't get rich. Because economies are different. Economies are different. Somebody writes how to make money in America, you are putting it in Nigeria. Nigeria, that the government can come and change the policy. So whatever anybody writes here, it's for you to consume and use wisely with your brain. So until otherwise proven, until Farotimi brings evidence that, part of the play of Babalola is that book, wherever it is in the whole world, you must retrieve it and destroy it, whether online, whether offline.
How possible that would be?
It is now left to the courts to tell Mr. Farotimi, because we can't be a judge here. He might be innocent after all. You don't even know whether he has some evidences to prove his case. So let us wait. Let Farotimi, December 10 is here. Bring out your evidences. Put it down on the table. That, okay, guy, we caught you. This is the amount you give to. Buhari had busted the houses of justices in this country before. And we started hearing things. Though they might not be true, though some are true, but monies were found. A whole lot were seen. The Supreme Court, the National Judicial Council, is disciplining judges currently. About 2 weeks ago, they still discipline some judges. They are not above the law. They are not above mistake. We are not saying things can't happen. But if you allege, you must prove.
Definitely.
So let him go and prove his case and be free.
All right. So while we wait for them to prove the case and all of that, the Nigerian Bar Association, of course, have come up to say what Afe Babalola has done is wrong. But let's see how that goes too. But let's look at the Saturday Vanguard for today. We have on the very top strip, the same thing we had been talking about in the last couple of minutes, Nigerians past verdict on judiciary says it performed better. Let me say it again. It performed better under military government. Suggest ways to save it. Regret is failing our democracy. Okay,
moving on. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, we have why Tinubu may be a one-time president, and says PDP gun comatose, not dead. That is coming from Ologbodinya. Details are on page 12.
And also we have on the big story here, tax reform bills and not re-strategizes as regional crisis looms. And we have a couple of writers here, but I would love to take two of them. Northern Democrats raise a panel to review bills in 7 days, and Senate reps take contrary stand.
Okay, moving on, still on the front page, ex-reps member backs Tinubu. Tells him to subject tax bill to a referendum if NAS shoots it down. One rider regrets some states not creative, only banking on federal government allocations. Details are on page 9.
All right, so let's take a look at the tax reform bills. We've been talking about it for a while now. One House of Rep member, said, I think it's time they convert or they rewrite the bill in Hausa language. So that those in the north can better understand what exactly it is that they are talking about, because everyone seems to say it's not to the favor of the northern, citizenry. But what do you think is happening now? What is the new thing that we are expected to see, and what is happening?
I am not a party to the people that believe that the north does not understand. I think they understood the document very well. Very, very well. That is why they are fighting back. You don't fight on what you don't understand. You first want to understand at their level before beginning to fight. We can't say the whole traditional rulers in the north, they need Hausa to be able to read. Some of these traditional rulers are professors.
Yeah, because that was said by one member.
So those senators are not blind, they are not dull. Even if they don't understand, they can give to assistants who can easily digest and tell them, because they are summary of the whole tax, about 4 bills together. So you see, the issue here is the status quo as it is favors the northern region, whereby you do less and you get more. And now when the system is trying to balance itself, and like, okay, you get profit from wherever you reap whatever you have sowed. So it is becoming a little challenge. I personally don't see it as a challenge if they are ready to face it. We have a lot of northerners too, like Dogara, like so many of them who have come out to say, come guys, this thing is not what you think about. Dogara was even making an example that they just created the Ministry of Livestock. I've checked globally. That industry is about $2.5 billion annually. And see, we have all these things. Even if we just get 10% of that 2.5, that's $250 million in northern Nigeria. We are okay. You won't be running after all these VAT. You see, the issue majorly is, like we discussed last week, derivation is about to happen and consumption. If you derive something from your locality, you get paid for it. If people in your domain begin to consume a particular good and services, you get paid for it. But in the north, they have looked at their economies and felt that we have vast majority of poor people. What are they buying to pay VAT? They buy less.
Yes.
If you have refused to pay your civil servants 35,000, how are you going to pay them 70,000? If you have allowed insecurity to thrive in your domain, how will business come in? Other states that have allowed their environment to be good, buy police vehicle, pump money on. When Fashola was doing beautification of Lagos, everybody thought he was wasting money, not knowing that it's part of security. You see people, Lagos went after blue line, red line. The governor just went looking for $1.9 billion to do new sets of rail lines. See, all those are the type of things that brings consumption into your economy. And when consumption increases, VAT will increase. State governors in the north go outside, get businesses. You have mineral resources, you have potential, you have people. Number one resource is people. If you have the population, why are you scared? Face this thing, bite the bullet. It can never continue like this forever. It cannot. Sanusi had told them this a very long time ago.
True.
So now the chicken has come home to roost and we are trying to force it, they understand. But I think the latest is they have set up a committee, I think headed by Ibrahim Shekarau, to look at, I think there are about 2 or 3 professors in the committee, look at it, come to the table, meet with the General of the Federation, meet with the Senate. These are our grievances. Of course, the bill might not be perfect, but saying that things will continue like this, no, this is Nigeria of 2024, 25. It's not back then. We are using what has been there since military years, which by now, things have changed. Population of 60, 70 million, now we are over 200 million. Each state needs to manage. One person cannot be at the center struggling managing everybody. No, each state must start to manage themselves. If I make a call in Zamfara, Zamfara should get the credit, not Lagos. If I farm in Zamfara, the farmer in Zamfara, because of derivation, should get credit, not another state where the yam is going. Not all those boys on the road collecting money from people. You did not do the job. You just stay on the road and collect. The law is trying to take away all those type of multiple taxations. So it is the person who farms that will eat, not the other way around. So the law is only trying to balance things out. So we can look at it. They can look at the law and say, okay, we agree, but maybe give us a year or 2. Let's try and see what we can do. Maybe we'll curb insecurity. Maybe we'll increase our own tax nets too and co. Those are the type of discussions I expect that we should be having, and not a dead on arrival. It is this. It can work.
Thank you, Peter Shidende. Let's move on because of the time.
Yes.
The next daily on our desk is the Guardian Weekend. Why people with mental health challenge deserve better attention. Details are on page 8 and 9.
And okay, we have on the top strip here, Tinubu strengthening investment ties with France despite Sahel Africa logout.
Okay, moving on, how Sokoto governor is changing state's water supply narrative. Moving on, the next.
Yes, the next one is like an inversion. It's like an inverted pyramid on this one. They say, when will our national greed, not the greed, not the Haitian greed, when will our national greed, when will our national greed collapse? And I'd love to start by asking you, Mr. Peters, when will our national greed?
I think the person is trying to draw out from, because the news broke out during the week when was this Senator Baribe was saying that we have 3 power plants that powers the country, and once you hear the grid has collapsed, to bring up each is about $7.5 million. So that it costs the country about almost $25 million anytime you hear there's a grid collapse. And people start raising eyebrow that come. You mean when they say grid collapse, we don't have light? Some people collect $25 million from this country. That grid can collapse like 3 times in a month. So you mean some people are sitting here and making money under the guise of grid collapse, anytime you need money, you just go and shut down something and take grid has collapsed, the government releases money to you. So the news became unbelievable to people. So they see it as part of the greed in the country. They have turned our GRID to GREED. As everybody is stealing everywhere, these ones have also fashioned away from themselves to steal something. You know, it's still an allegation.
Wow.
They can come to you and say, sorry, we are not the ones even it's a consultant. And that is what they collect when they want to do their job. But you see, ordinarily, people immediately took it up. I'm like, no. This is impossible. How can people be collecting? Not 25 million naira, my brother. $25 million.
For any time.
For 3 grids. Yeah, if one is $7.5 million. So the minister needs to come and explain. The MP of whatever needs to come and explain to them. How come we need 7 moribund? So that is why it is good. Electricity has been removed from the exclusive to concurrent. Let states generate light. Let federal government remove all this paying anybody money for. Let states manage power.
Now, at this point,
it is not supposed to be a federal matter anymore.
Okay, at this point where some persons are already milking the government or milking our allegedly,
yes.
Will they be able to now be able to generate light as a state? Because at this point, some persons will go out of business.
No, generating light as a state is a matter of the law. And the electricity bill has been passed into an act signed by the president. You can see Lagos State government during this week had signed the Lagos Electricity whatever commission. Lagos wants to start immediately. They had wanted to start during the Obasanjo years.
Yeah, during the Babalola
Tinubu brought Enron. So Lagos is already positioning himself, running fast. I don't know why Ogun, that is close here, that has so many dams, so many opportunities, has not started. You see, these governors are still sitting on gold mine. But that laziness, that anytime it is the end of the month, we just go to Abuja, they just credit us with some dollars, and then we go and do whatever. Go and check most of them. Is it that they want to build the airport? Even the ones that are on ground, what is the population of people using it?
Exactly.
What do you need an airport for in every state? You find out your neighboring state has an airport. I think if you want to do anything that is sensible, even if you can't build an airport, can you even get a rail line from that airport to your own state, so that if my people come, they can, if they don't want to use the road, they can use the road. That is what you should be thinking. Not trying to build an airport, everybody trying to, all these white elephant projects, all over. So the problem is that now it's time for them to think. I think the man at the center is trying to, guys, gone are those old days. I've been part of the system, but I think we need to start doing things right. We just hope that the more of these bills, the more of this, all this local government autonomy, everything that the government is doing, that they will see the light of the day. So that maybe Nigerians, if you look at prices now, I think they have peaked. You were saying that naira has started gaining.
Yeah, about 1,500.
Because the CBN has started
wondering how long it will last.
Yes, I think it will last. You know, this week, government launched sale of Eurobond. Nigeria is about to borrow about $2.2 billion. So our foreign reserve should hit about 42 billion by the end of the year. It will give naira another good landing.
For how long?
CBN has launched the electronic foreign exchange method system. Where the trading platform they were using before was not transparent. CBN launched another one, and immediately he launched it, they began to see real life what is happening. So if I want to buy FX now, everything is online. All of us will be seeing it. Buyers and sellers. Gone are those days when speculation and lack of transparency drives the market. Now, everything is transparent. Willing buyer and willing seller, you see yourself online, you do your deal and move on.
There will be no technical glitch.
So all those technical glitches, you leave them to...
And they're all part of their beavers.
All those things that are doing
stop working.
is what they are trying to use to make sure that there is pressure. Prices have now stagnated.
Okay.
Prices are no longer increasing. They are stagnated in one way or the other. They have stayed somewhere. So the next thing is for the government to consolidate, to make those prices to start to dwindle bit by bit. You now hear an NPC saying that I want to start exporting to Dubai. We are no longer using foreign exchange to go and buy or import fuel. You see, they are very tough decisions. I personally wish the government is able to manage the foreign exchange for a while, as in not totally liberalize the way they have done. It's always my pain that poor people cannot absorb all this shock. It is too much. It is too much.
Thank you so much.
But at the same time, they are painful realities.
Very, very, very true. And they use this viral stuff that went everywhere. A woman bought a dollar for 1,790 something naira or so, and it now crashed to about 1,500. So she was lamenting, when will the dollar go up again so that she can recoup her money?
You know, most people, they hold these currencies for speculation.
To themselves.
They hold this for speculation. That is what the government is trying to call that at every point in time, if you think you can, you know, a lot of effects will come in. This is holiday period. This is December. A lot will come. Foreign portfolio investors are already bombing Nigeria to bring in money. Is good because the interest rate the government is giving them in Nigeria, they can get it elsewhere. So they are bringing their FX and the position in Naira. So to be sincere to you, it is good business if you have money to come and take Naira in Nigeria. If you have FX, just come, bring it. Government is giving as much as 32%. Where can you get that in the world? Never.
Thank you so much.
All right, we wish Nigeria well. We truly do wish Nigeria well as Nigerians. Well, thank you so very much for being part of our show today. For this segment that is, and just to let you know that he would be here to equally take us in our main conversation graciously.
Yeah, and by my return, is Netflix leaving Nigeria? Find out in a moment. We'll be right back.
Yes.